Hey guys, Shari James here, and on this episode of Himology, I am interviewing Susan Morgan Taylor and my three wisdom bombs. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Shari James RN. I help men avoid eating medications, get off of them, or in some cases, get them to work with my holistic approach to erectile dysfunction. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here with you.
So let me tell you a little bit about Susan. Susan Morgan Taylor, MA, is a renowned somatic sex therapist who's helped hundreds of couples deepen their intimate connection and create mutually satisfying sex and intimacy for the long term. She is the creator of the Transformational Pleasure Keys Retreat and the host of the popular Sex Talk Cafe podcast. After leaving a sexless marriage and determined not to repeat that pattern, Susan embarked on a study of her own sexuality, where she soon discovered that love, pleasure, and orgasm are natural states that already exist within us and are easily experienced when the obstacles are removed. This personal awakening was the turning point that inspired her to become a sex therapist. After more than a decade in private practice as a couples sex therapist and over 25 years of experience in somatic-based approaches to healing, Susan developed the Pleasure Keys process and a three-part approach to empower couples to get back on the same page in sex and intimacy while leaving the frustration, confusion, and chronic self-sacrifice in the dust. All right. So, sounds like you have some experience here.
Yeah, I do. A little bit.
A
A
little bit, a little bit.
little bit. Been at this for quite a while, and I'm excited to be here with you and with your community here and sharing these wisdom bombs because I hope that it'll be helpful for your listeners and your watchers, your audience.
I'm sure it will, and it's all men. So that's always fun. And we're going to be dropping wisdom bomb number one. The top three reasons she doesn't desire you sexually and what you can do about it.
Yes, I love it. So this is an issue I see all the time. And what I want to say is my background is in women's sexuality. My whole personal journey around that was really about discovering my body and how my body worked and that really inspired me to do this work, but because of that I have also a very deep understanding of kind of what's going on in female psychology and why she does not desire you. So I know your audience is mostly men, so I'm going to do my best here to speak to the men.
Mhm.
um, and I left a sexless marriage. I was that woman. So one of the things that's going on around this, guys, is that you're moving too fast. Now, the thing is, she probably also doesn't realize this, most likely, because a lot of women don't understand that their bodies really, usually, we need more time for our bodies to warm up. We have different anatomy, same amount of erectile tissue, it's just spread over a larger area and more organs in our genitals than what you have in your body, guys. So the woman's body actually needs more time to become fully ready for penetrative sex. So if you're moving too quick, she's not really all the way there. And so if that's happening again and again and again and again, over time, she loses interest because there's just really not much in it for her. So the first tip would be to slow down, put more attention on other parts of her body. Don't go straight for the genitals. Spend more time caressing, touching, kissing, making eye contact, slowly working towards the genitals, and spending some time to get her to get out of her head and relax. This is another common thing I see with a lot of women is that we need more time actually to get our brains to turn off, to get out of that prefrontal cortex, which is like our thinking, doing, planning, strategizing, talking mind, chitty, chitty, chatty, chatty, chatty. We need time to relax and to get that part of the brain to quiet down. And it just takes time, it takes attention, and you've got to get her to be quiet, to stop talking. Just relax. The next piece is that sex is often over far too soon. So, on average, depending on what research you consult out there, on average, most men ejaculate within 2 to 7 minutes, unless, of course, you're working with Sherry, and then hopefully you're getting some help with that. 2 to 7 minutes on average, which is not long enough for the female body to really drop in and warm up and become consistently orgasmic during penetrative sex. what the research has shown, it's 21 on average, 21 or more minutes of like foreplay and warming up the body before a woman's going to be consistently orgasmic. And when she's in her pleasure, she's going to want it more. When there's something in it for her, she's going to have more desire. So, and it could take longer, it could take less. Every woman is different, and she's different on every day and times of the month. So this isn't like a hard and fast rule. And a lot of it has to do with her also learning her body, by the way. So helping your female partner learn her body, but a lot of that is about you actually slowing down and helping her slow down, letting her know that you're not in a rush, because she'll do that. This is the third reason, is that she's doing it out of obligation. The emotional connection is missing. So if she's not feeling emotionally connected to you, then she's not going to desire you. She's going to be holding on to stuff. It's going to create resentment. If she's shoving her emotions down, if she doesn't feel safe enough to express her needs or her feelings with you. And most women, we are like masters at suppressing our needs, especially if we are our mothers, we have children to take care of. We tend to really like put everybody else's needs first. But what that can lead to is that her sexual energy and her sexual desire actually also gets put on the back burner. So the emotional connection, one of the things you can do to get more of that is to like just ask her about, how was your day? How are you feeling? What do you need? What do you need right now? What do you need right now so that you can relax? What would you need right now so that you could feel safe? She needs to feel emotionally connected to you, and she needs to feel safe with you, meaning that she needs to feel that it's okay for her to let go and relax. She needs to feel like she can trust you. There's a lot actually to this point. I don't have
Yeah,
time really to
there
get into
is.
all of it today,
Yeah.
but you get the idea. So connecting with her emotionally. And when these things are not happening, she loses desire, she loses interest, and nobody is really happy.
I think of that as if you're not really taking time to connect with a woman emotionally, you may be getting waterworks up here in the form of tears, but you're not getting waterworks down there in the form of
Oh,
moisture.
well, that's an interesting way to look at it. I've always looked at it as the heart and the, what word can we say here on this video so to
Yoni?
not get censored? The yoni, the heart and the yoni actually are intimately connected in the womb, the heart and the womb, a woman's womb or her
Yeah.
yoni, which is all of the apparatus. The yoni is like everything going on down there. These 2 points are highly connected. And so one of the ways I look at it is the tears are actually, I think, are a good sign, because if she's opening, if her heart is opening, so you're connecting with her emotionally, the tears are actually part of that. And oftentimes the yoni will also release and open. It's when we're like not wanting to feel, I'm afraid to feel, or I can't feel, or I'm angry at you because of something that happened 2 days ago. And so I'm going to be all, put the wall up. That
Contracted.
the sexual wall also goes up. The yoni does not open and does not surrender. So that's interesting. I've always looked at the tears as a good sign that actually when the heart opens, the yoni also opens. So if you can look at it that way, helping her release and open her heart and creating trust and safety, then the yoni can also open with it. Where a lot of people get stuck though is just only in the heart, devoid of the sex, and so it becomes just conversation, which is a really big trap sexually for a lot of couples.
Yeah. I think of the tears as like frustration bubbling up. And then after that becomes more of the heart access. So overall, I would think a man would want more moisture, more
Yes.
accessibility to moisture down there and less moisture up here.
Yeah, or both, to not be
Yeah.
afraid of the emotions, because I know that's a big thing for a lot of men, a lot of
Yeah.
guys. If this is you guys, like you want to fix it. If you see your woman crying, it's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? What do I do to stop her from crying? That's also, there's another wisdom bomb in that. It's
Yeah.
really where you want to go is just hold, let her be in that expressive state. Don't try to fix it.
Yeah.
Don't see tears as something wrong. It's not anything necessarily to do with you either. I mean, it might be, but trying to take that personally is not going to help the situation. You just want to let her drop more deeply into those feelings, because like Shari, you just pointed out, like that's again, right, that's where the yoni starts to open. The tears come, the frustration, the heart softens, and then we have more openness in the body, which translates into more sexual openness.
Absolutely. And back to your first point about taking it slow, I observe and personally experience that postmenopausal, perimenopausal, all of a sudden the pleasure map changes, right? And
Yes.
it requires more whole body touch and more kissing. And it's like, oh my
Uh-huh.
God, wait a minute. I used to be just like, look at them and
Yeah.
right? And so we're changing as well, just like they're changing. So you said that the woman might not even be aware.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's a weird transitional change that takes place.
Oh, I think you just made such a good point. Like in general, right? You're right. Our bodies are always changing throughout the lifespan and throughout our fertility cycles for both men and women, different sets of hormones. But yeah, absolutely. I've noticed that as well, kind of getting closer to the menopausal, perimenopausal arena. Like the map is different, the orgasms are different, the terrain is a little bit different. And so I think it is really about, I mean, especially, I'm a big advocate for a woman knowing her own body
Yes.
and also for her male partner to learn her body. But what I see happen sometimes is sometimes the male, too much pressure is put on the man to figure her out when she doesn't even know her own map. So I always look at the sexual relationship as a mutual journey. It's not all one or the other, but both parties need to learn and explore and have good communication around what's going on, what feels good, what do I need, right? I love that question. I think it's like what do you need right now? And I will ask myself that if something's going on that feels wonky or I'm not feeling it, it's like, okay, what would I need right now so that I could feel more, could relax more? And then I do what I need to either give that to myself or ask to receive that from my partner. Um,
And it could be as simple as more emotional connection. It doesn't have to be some magical sex trick,
right. Yeah.
right?
Because a lot of times, yeah, the solutions are so simple. You're right. Like it's not
Yeah.
always some like crazy thing or get out the toy. I mean, right. It could be something extreme, much simpler than what we tend to think it is.
Yeah. So I think overall with that one, it's keep checking in with each other, keep checking in with your own body, and that just know that it's normal and natural for your sexual expression and responsiveness and desire to change sometimes weekly, or you're going through a big life change and that can change it as well. Hey you, hey guy, who's learning about sexual health? Mixed in with some Tantra, mixed in with some 5 elements of Chinese medicine and some Western medicine. I want to let you know something. I would love it if you would hit my subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you're going to know when new content is posted every Friday.